We continue reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, text 17. Avinashi tu tadviddhi yena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. That which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. This verse more clearly explains the real nature of the soul, which is spread all over the body. So we are always having knowledge of, well, it's always knowledge of the body. We go to a medical school, they will tell us all the technicalities and details of the body. We go to engineering school, they will tell us how does a machine work properly. But what about the soul? How do we get the knowledge of the soul? What's the size of the soul? What does it do? We get that knowledge in Bhagavad Gita. Anyone can understand what is spread all over the body. It is consciousness. Everyone is conscious of the pains and pleasures of the body in part or as a whole. This spreading of consciousness is limited within one's own body. Then the pains and pleasures of one body are unknown to another. So if I say, oh no, I'm beyond the body, I'm the soul. So I'm not the body. So I don't feel the pain, what I'm going through. That's artificial, That is, we are just coming artificially negating something. No, we are inside the body. There is a consciousness which is pervading throughout the body. So that's why even if our finger gets hurt, we feel it, because that is the influence of the soul is spread all over the body. But if your finger gets hurt, I can't feel that. I can't feel that. Or if you're getting a nice massage, I can't feel the pleasure you're feeling. I can only feel of my body, because we are the individual soul. So our consciousness is limited to only the body that we are in. Therefore, each and every body is the embodiment of an individual soul, and the symptom of the soul's presence is perceived as individual consciousness. Now, what is the size of the soul? The soul is described as 1/10,000th part of the upper portion of the hair point in size. Everybody's trying to understand the soul. What's the size here? This is the soul is the size of the soul is mentioned. It is coming from the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. 1/10,000th part of the upper portion of the hair point. So the tip of the hair is already so small. The tip of the hair. We take a hair, not how long the hair is. No, just the tip. That's such a tiny dot. Then that dot, we divide it into 10,000 parts. And then that one part is the size of the soul. That's how tiny we are. That's how tiny we are. But our egos are as big as the body, But that's the size of the soul. So, Balagra Shata Bhagasya Shatadha Kalpitasya Cha Bhago Jiva Sa Vigneya Sa Chan Nantayaya Kalpate. When the upper point of a hair is divided into 100 parts, and again, each of such parts is further divided into 100 parts, each such part is the measurement of the dimension of the spirit soul. So means 10,000, 100, and then again divide by 100. So that becomes 10,000. Similarly, the same version is stated, Keshagra Shata Bhagasya Shatamsha Sadrashatmakaha Jiva Sukshma Swarupo Yam Sankhyatito Hichit Kanaha. There are innumerable particles of spiritual atoms which are measured as 1/10,000 of the upper portion of the hair. So innumerable particles of spiritual atoms, that's we, the living entities, the soul, which are measured as 1/10,000, the upper portion of a hair. So that's our size right now. We are in the body, inside our own body, we are sitting, and our size is this, 1/10,000 the tip of a hair. Therefore, the individual particle of spirit soul is a spiritual atom smaller than the material atoms, and such atoms are innumerable. So our size is even smaller than a material atom. The scientists, they have discovered material atoms. They have the gadgets to measure the size of material atom, but they still do not have the gadget to measure the spiritual atom. And we, the spirit souls, are the spiritual atom. And like these spiritual atoms, means souls are everywhere. Such atoms are innumerable. It's not that only I'm the soul and there is no other soul in this whole universe. No, no, living entities are everywhere. This very small spiritual spark is the basic principle of the material body. And the influence of such a spiritual spark is spread all over the body, as the influence of the active principle of some medicine spreads throughout the body. So we take one small pill, the pill goes inside the stomach, but our headache goes away. So it's because of the influence of the medicine, right? That's why our headache went away or our toothache went away. So similarly, we, the soul, we are present in this body, and because we are in the body grows, then it becomes even bigger, then it will have some byproducts, so that's because of the soul. This current of the spirit soul is felt all over the body as consciousness, and that is the proof of the presence of the soul. Any layman can understand that the material body minus consciousness is a dead body, and this consciousness cannot be revived in the body by any means of material administration. No matter what we do, we cannot make a dead body conscious. We cannot make it alive again. Once the soul is gone from the body, we cannot put the soul back. We are not able to do that. Therefore, consciousness is not due to any amount of material combination, but to the spirit soul. And that's the difference, right, between a living body and a dead body. It's the consciousness. Living body right now, if you smash my hand, I'll cry in pain. But if I leave the body, if I'm dead already, you smash my hand, nothing's going to happen. I won't feel anything. So that's because the soul, because I'm still in the body. The consciousness is because of the, I'm able to feel whatever I'm able to feel is because I'm still inside the body. Once I leave this body and go, whatever happens to the body, I don't care. I can't feel it. I can't feel it. So, in the Mundaka Upanishad 3.1.9, the measurement of the atomic spirit soul is further explained. Esho anur atma chetasa veditavyo yasmin prana panchada sam vishesha pranes chitam sarvam otam prajanam yasmin vishuddhe vibhavati esha atma. The soul is atomic in size and can be perceived by perfect intelligence. This atomic soul is floating in the 5 kinds of air, Pran, Apan, Vyan, Saman, and Udan, and is situated within the heart and spreads its influence all over the body of the embodied living entities. When the soul is purified from the contamination of the 5 kinds of material air, its spiritual influence is exhibited. So we are right now inside this body. And then around ourself, around the soul, there is this 5 kinds of air, Pran, Apan, Vyan, Saman, and Udan. We are surrounded by these airs, 5 kinds of different life airs, And then when the soul is purified from the contamination, then the spiritual influence is exhibited. Actually, because we are Brahman, right? We are Satchidananda, we are part of Brahman. So we are very, very effulgent. We are very effulgent, but right now, because we are covered, all our material consciousness is covering us. So our effulgence can't be seen. But if once that's the reason the spiritual bodies, they're so self-effulgent. you know. So the Hatha Yoga system is meant for controlling the 5 kinds of air encircling the pure soul by different kinds of sitting postures, not for any material profit, but for liberation of the minute soul from the entanglement of the material atmosphere. So the Hatha Yoga, which begins by pranayam, niyam, pranayam, we do pranayam is not supposed to be only to keep this body healthy, but what's the real purpose is to purify the soul and release it from this material covering, material entanglement. So the constitution of the atomic soul is admitted in all Vedic literatures, and it is also actually felt in the practical experience of any sane man. Only the insane man can think of this atomic soul as the all-pervading Vishnu Tattva. Now, if we think that we, the individual soul, is the Brahman, the complete Brahman. Okay, we are part. We are also Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, because we are part and parcel. We are Satchidananda, part of the unlimited. But if we think that we are the cause of all causes, that I am God, then I am insane. The Vedas call me as a mad person. If I think that I actually, who am an atomic soul, if I think that I'm the cause of all causes, that I'm the creator, annihilator, that I'm God, then that is my illusion. The influence of the atomic soul can be spread all over a particular body. According to the Mundaka Upanishad, this atomic soul is situated in the heart of every living entity. And because the measurement of the atomic soul is beyond the power of appreciation of the material scientists, some of them assert foolishly that there is no soul. So because the soul is so tiny and the material scientists are unable to find it, unable to measure it, they say, oh, there's no soul. Soul doesn't exist. You know, you die, the body is finished, no more. You're not going to exist anymore. That's what some of the people say, that the individual atomic soul is definitely there in the heart, along with the super soul. And thus all the energies of bodily movement are emanating from this part of the body. So imagine, do we believe that, oh, we are going to not exist anymore? No, we can never believe that. Why? Because we are the soul and we are eternal. We don't believe that, oh, we are going to be finished. As soon as I give up the body, I will cease to exist anymore. I'm nothing then. I will not be an individual anymore. No, we, the eternal soul, can never believe that fully in our heart. Can never accept. Why? Because we are the soul. So the corpuscles which carry the oxygen from the lungs gather energy from the soul. When the soul passes away from this position, the activity of the blood generating fusion ceases. Medical science accepts the importance of the red corpuscles, but it cannot ascertain that the source of the energy is the soul. The medical science, however, does admit that the heart is the seat of all energies of the body. So why is the heart the seat of all energies of the body? Is because the soul is there. It's the soul that is giving power to this body. Like a driver sits inside the car to drive the car. Otherwise, the car is just going to be sitting there. The car won't be able to drive by itself. You know, need a person. Even if we say nowadays, oh, we have auto driving, we need somebody to press the button. A person needs to be there. Such atomic particles of the spirit whole are compared to the sunshine molecules. In the sunshine, there are innumerable radiant molecules. Similarly, the fragmental parts of the Supreme Lord are atomic sparks of the rays of the Supreme Lord, called by the name Prabha, or superior energy. So, as the example is always given of the sun planet and the sunshine which is coming from the sun planet, and the sunshine, they're tiny, tiny molecules. So we are these tiny, tiny molecules of the Supreme Lord, tiny, tiny atomic sparks. So whether one follows Vedic knowledge or modern science, one cannot deny the existence of the spirit soul in the body. And the science of the soul is explicitly described in the Bhagavad Gita. by the personality of Godhead himself. So we are the soul inside this body, and it is our duty to understand what am I doing here and where am I going to go after I leave this body, and what's my relationship with the Supreme Lord. Is that okay?
Yes.
Any questions, comments?
So what they are telling in this one, that the soul is doing all the part, though the medical science also accepts that importance of the, so like that means that in the heart is doing everything and the soul is in the heart, right?
Yeah. So the machine, the body is the machine. So the machine is working. The heart is beating, the blood is flowing, all that. But where does that initial current come from? That is coming from the soul.
Soul, okay.
Yeah. Because the soul is there, so the consciousness is there. That energy is there. Then the working of the body, the liver will do its work, and then the bile will be secreted, the blood will do its work, all that, they will do their work. But the initial energy, everything, they are able to do that work because the soul is there. Like a machine is there, the car is sitting, then we ignite the engine, the person, a man sitting, he will ignite the engine, and then the other parts of the car will do their work. Like that. So we'll stop here for today.
Okay.
So this is to help us understand that, okay, I'm not the body. The body is a machine. I am inside this body. I'm not the car. I'm the driver of the car. Like that, That. So thank you so much for joining in today morning. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.